began as a dream by a couple in 1978, is today a medical institution that is world renowned for its medical and academic excellence. Our founders, Dr. J.G. Shanmuganathan and Mrs. Kanakavalli Shanmuganathan, combined expertise, compassion, and pioneering spirit that has been central to Ganga Hospital's growth into a trusted name in healthcare. I welcome our dignitaries, Padma Bhushan Sri Chandrasekaran, Chairman of Tata Sons, and Sri Krishnan, Managing Director of Sri Krishna Sweets. And I request the directors of Ganga Hospital, Dr. Raja Sabhabati and Dr. Chandrasekaran, to accompany them to the dais. Prayer.
Mrs. Kanakavalli Shanmuganathan, Dr. Raja Sabhabati, Dr. Chandrasekaran, Mr. Krishnan, Mr. Balakrishnan, the family of the Ganga Hospital, distinguished guests from the city of Coimbatore, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege and honor to share this evening with all of you. It is a humbling feeling to be in front of a very accomplished family and doctors and founders of this institution who are not only well known here but are respected globally. First, I would like to take the opportunity to express my congratulations and also gratitude to Dr. Chandrasekaran and Dr. Raja Sabhabati. I don't know whether I did the right thing, but I chose the topic of healthcare to talk in front of you. That requires some guts. Nevertheless, I have been feeling very deeply about healthcare in our country for a long time. And I have always believed that India has a huge inequality. And access has been the biggest problem in our country. And I have thought about two topics, healthcare and education, for a long time. And I attempted to do something with technology and healthcare. In around 2014, 15, 16, I started some pilots. I did some very unique experiments and projects. Then I felt very good, I was going to take it forward. Then I moved from TCS to Tata Sons and I got very busy. Then this kind of took a back seat. Then I thought I should explore this further. So I tried to take some weekends during 2017-18 to go to different parts of the country to see what actually is the problem. Spent a lot of time in Northeast. Then we wrote a book, I and a colleague of mine. She predominantly did the writing. I did most of the solutioning and technology aspects. How to solve India's healthcare access problem. So I will come to that later on in this talk. So I'm going to request your indulgence because I'm going to spend a little bit of time first talking about technology a little bit. Healthcare and technology are very old companions. The dictionary meaning of technology, quote, is application of scientific knowledge to create something of use. So if technology cannot apply itself on some scientific knowledge to create something useful for people, it is of no use. So technology is always an enabler, and it has always been there. The use of the pill was about 2,500 years ago because one needed to measure the exact quantity of the medicine being delivered. That's how the pill came about over 2,500 years ago. Then the concave spectacles came about in 1300 to help people with myopia. Then again, for the first time, chemicals and minerals were used in medicine in the 1500s. But as we approach today, inventions and discoveries are accelerating. There are vaccines and antibodies and other interventions that are happening at a rapid pace. We have also begun to understand the secrets of genome because of technology. But these dramatic advances will only accelerate. It will happen much faster. As we are sitting here and I am speaking, somewhere in the world, there are a number of artificial intelligence algorithms are analyzing medical images and identifying things a normal human eye will miss. It could be a possible tumor, it could be a missed fracture, it could be anything. We are already past the moment where a pathogen's genome can be sequenced in a matter of hours. So the explosion of predicted protein structures also have gone up because of technology from about 200,000 to 200 million within a matter of months. So I'll talk about a few specific trends or advancements. The first one is the major advances in healthcare due to artificial intelligence inclusion in the process of diagnosis and treatment. AI will help in disease detection, and also it will help in personalized treatment plans by analyzing a patient's genetic information, lifestyle, and other health data. Medical imaging turns AI into a tool in the hand of radiologists so that they can sort through a large number of cases and prioritize them. The second one I talk about is the advancement in robotics. The Da Vinci surgical system is used for minimal invasive surgeries, and it brings a lot of precision and control. iKnife, another technology, is a small scalpel that detects cancerous tissues real time during a surgery. CyberKnife, another technology that delivers high doses of radiation with extreme precision to treat tumors. All these technologies are real, and we are not talking theory. It is happening now. Surgery is one of the foremost fields embracing these technologies. Radiology is another discipline where AI will have a very, very significant influence. In pathology, again, artificial intelligence algorithms will help analyze tissue samples, improving the accuracy of diagnosis and speeding of processes. So where is it all going? What is the future going to be? It is open to debate. But designing of technology requires some projection. By 2025, we anticipate AI will significantly enhance our ability to detect diseases early and develop personalized treatment plans. In countries like Japan, where there is a huge aging population, the caregiving will be done by AI-powered robots. I had seen these robots even 7-8 years ago. And these things will become a reality because there will be no people. By 2030, AI will make much more significant stride. It will analyze speech patterns, social media activity, and other data to detect early signs of mental health issues. And it is projected by 2040, advancements in AI and robotics will combine, so the surgeries will be done remotely in many parts of the world, where the surgeons can perform operations on patients located in completely different parts of the world. And in 2050, we expect AI to drive significant advancements in the areas of prosthetics and organ regeneration technologies. And there will be breakthroughs in regenerative medicine, again powered by artificial intelligence, and it will allow us to grow and replace damaged organs, offering new hopes to patients, especially patients with chronic conditions and organ failure. See, these advancements are very necessary because the lifespan is increasing. People used to live till 60, now people live till 90. But then they have to live healthy. There is no point in living long when you are not healthy. The cost is going up. At the same time, the dependency on everyone else is going up. So, lifespan should be accompanied by health span. I tell this because just the novelty of invention is often mistaken for relevance. Unless or otherwise, a technology can be of use in producing the outcomes that the patients require so that they can live a higher quality of life, then we don't achieve what we need to achieve. Now I want to talk about India. So we have the best doctors, expert doctors, which is great, and it's really fascinating that Coimbatore has some outstanding hospitals, specialty, super specialty hospitals and treatments at very affordable cost. But broader India, our fundamental problem is access. There's a lot of statistics. We have one of the worst doctor patient ratios in the world. I think if my memory serves me right, it's about 1 for every close to 2,000 people or something like that. And if you look at most of the experts live in the urban areas, most of the patients live in the rural areas. So it's lopsided. 2/3 of the doctors live in urban areas and 2/3 of the patients live in the rural areas. And also we have what I call as a missing middle. We have super experts and we have low skilled people. We don't have the people in between. So when we did this study, we came to the conclusion 50% of the experts' time is going away by coming down because they don't have enough people to assist them. So they are losing their valuable time by doing job which somebody else can do. So we have a skills issue. So I will not go into a lot of details. So we thought this problem can be solved by using technology. So we did an experiment and now we are running 3 centers. One of them is running in Kolar. The whole district, I think it's about 35 lakh people. We have got a center. It's a social work. So we have a high technology center in Kolar, what we call as a digital nerve center, where all these expert doctors are all there in one place. It's like an office for them, but they have all the real-time connectivity, cloud, etc., screens, etc., all the data real-time coming. And then the ASHA workers and other people who are in the field have been trained with certain protocols and certain technology, and then they go out and administer the care, and then they are real-time connected with the doctors. I think what we are able to do, this primarily focused on primary health care, with expert doctors helping to diagnose the problem, to decide whether they have to go for a simple treatment or they are going to go to a tertiary hospital. But we are able to extend the capacity of the doctors multifold so that we can provide the access in different parts. I think this can be scaled up significantly. And it will create, in our opinion, it will bridge the gap of the doctor need at the lower end by about 80%. And then it will at least create 3 to 4 million jobs. But there are 2 other problems. The first problem I talked about is the primary health care. The second issue we have is the care required for early childhood. Between the ages of 0 to 5, we need a lot of focus. This is not just hospitals alone. We need to focus on high quality nutrition, cognitive development, and ensure that they achieve normal health milestones. And it can yield huge amount of productivity and can dramatically change the lifelong earnings for family and for the next generation. And if this can be done with a proper care public infrastructure, 125 million women who are just grappling with this issue can go back to work. So imagine, 125 million women are not able to work, because they are preoccupied with the childcare issues. So something that is seriously required is the second element, which is the child care. What is the care infrastructure required? It is not just hospitals. It's the other thing. We have to ensure that there is enough nutrition, there is no malnutrition, there is water, there is whole set of things that have to be created. And it should be done in such a safe manner that most of these women who morning to night only worry about this are relieved of this. The third, which is coming, is in 2050, we will have more aged people in India than the entire population of Europe. And everybody is not wealthy. So this will hit us 20 years later. So if we don't create the care infrastructure for the adults, again, many of your doctors who are here, you will know, it's many things. It's not only sheer simple health, it's neurological diseases and engagement, many things. So there is going to be 320 million people who are going to be in that age category. A portion of them will be very rich, they will be able to afford. For the remaining, we need to address. So I think the three interventions, together I call this as the care public infrastructure. There is a big role for institutions like yours and hospitals, but there is a bigger role also for the government, because it's going to be huge, massive program, and all these three things have to be done. And I think we will be able to do this at a much lesser cost than in the past because of the advancement in technology. AI will be very significant. All the digital infrastructure will be very significant. And of course, all of this will require a lot of high caliber doctors and skilled people in the entire hierarchy. So this is what I think is a possibility, not simply AI or robotic as technology, they will be there, but the human element that pays attention to what people need to thrive. And that needs to be thought through. All this probably will evolve over the next 25-30 years. We have a huge opportunity, and I firmly believe that the future of healthcare, the way the solutions will come about and will be provided, will happen here in India, in places like Coimbatore. And from here, it will go to the West, because a lot of expertise and lot of, if I may say so, issues, a lot of bright people, younger people, entrepreneurs. So all of this will come together to make this happen, and we all will have a role to play. Thank you very much.
It's really wonderful that we are actually ahead of time, and I'm sure that many of you would want to ask something to Mr. Chandrasekaran sir. So it could be in this topic, or it could be in any of the topics related to the IT. Can I start off the first question, sir? Sir, you're bringing a lot of healthcare, IT into technology, into this thing. Are we losing a little bit of emotional connect? For example, if, for example, in the Kolar group, there are 35 lakhs people who are connecting through the computer. But over a period of time, will it erode the patient-doctor relationship? Where does the actual thing come?
I think you asked the most relevant question. Technology will never replace the human element, can never replace the human element. Technology should be used to provide the reach, but the actual connect has to happen with the doctor. Until such time that we are able to create enough doctors. See, I think one estimate that I remember is the number of doctors that we need additionally is very minimum 5 lakh doctors that we need today. As of today, we need additional 5 lakh doctors. And even if you build all the medical colleges, and I think all of us who are non-doctors will agree that at some point in time we all wonder how these guys study so much. It's one of the toughest courses to do, and also it's a course where you are playing with life. So unless or otherwise you are fully qualified, you can't have them deal with the situation. So we have this problem. So it's a dichotomy. The whole problem is solved if we have additional 1 million doctors in India. Then we'll solve our problem and also solve the world's problem. But we've got to figure out somewhere technology and people have to work together.
Sir, there is a buzzword saying that next decade belongs to India, and it's so nice to hear. I wanted to know the truth in that. That's the first question, sir. And second is, if that needs to happen, what are the formula of individual excellence which will collectively result in national excellence?
Sir, I think Bala is asking these questions because the next decade belongs to India is being told for many decades. And that is why he is asking this question.
So first let me address the question, the comment made by Dr. Chandrasekaran, then I'll answer your question. See, in the last 20 years or 30 years, many times, like what he said, it has been said, now we have arrived. It's like, you're always driving in the small roads, wanting to go on the highway, but there's no highway. Suddenly we go on a highway in the 90s and early 2000s. Every time we go into a highway, we thought that, okay, we have arrived. And within a short distance, we'll go back to a small road. Then we say, oh, it didn't lost. But I really think that we have arrived in the highway. We are driving in the fast lane. At best, we'll switch from fast lane to a slow lane to go back to the fast lane. I don't believe that next several decades is going to belong to India. And what is it that we can do individually and collectively and as a nation? Individually, I feel there has to be higher aspiration. I always used to say to my colleagues when I was running TCS, there are two things are free in life. One is aspiration. Nobody can question you. You can say whatever you want. That can be the aspiration. Second one that is free is effort. You can choose to put in or not put in. So I think people have to Many people are doing it. Many youngsters are bold today. Many youngsters are becoming entrepreneurs. When we were young, when we finished college, the first thing you wanted is to get a job. The first job you got, you were very happy. And nowadays, people have choices. People can be entrepreneurs, have got multiple job opportunities. They work here, they work abroad, they work in cities. They do social work. Some people it's very, very passionate about doing non-profit work. So I think there are a lot of opportunities. People have to rise to the occasion, and we need to work as teams. That's something that we have to collaborate a lot more. Problems are bigger, and it can be solved if people collaborate. More and more collaboration is required. And as a nation, what we need to do? We definitely need the health infrastructure. We definitely need to fix education. Every kid has to have the right to education, a high quality education, and we will need a lot more educational universities of scale. So if you look at the number of PhDs that we have for the total number of people we have, we are about 30% of China and about 5 times less than the United States. So we will need more innovation, we will need more intellectual property, we need to invest in education at all levels. We definitely need to provide basic quality healthcare for all people in all parts of the country, because I really mean we have a lot of young people from all strata of society who are brilliant, but they just don't have opportunity. So how will a kid look at the opportunity if the kid doesn't have the basics? So we need to do that. And otherwise, I think the government has been doing a phenomenal job. And I think we'll grow. I think we'll grow much faster than what we are growing now. I firmly believe that we can grow much faster than what we are growing now. I don't mind. I like this. I don't like the speech.
Sir, I have completed more than 4 decades in medical profession. I not only seen but personally experienced the transformation also. Now, whatever you have said regarding healthcare promotion, healthcare development, I'm sure everyone here will agree that it's a very, very, very small percentage of the population of our country that can have a joint replacement, an organ transplantation, a prolonged therapy for malignancy, a bypass, stent, you name it. You talked about what's really we will see in 2030, 2040, and 2050. When will we really see that every citizen of the country can afford healthcare and receive treatment?
So this is precisely the point I made. It's one thing to have the technology, another thing for people to benefit from it. And I think it starts with these 3 elements, I feel. I think the primary healthcare is so critical, because I'm really saying things which in front of a lot of doctors. Hopefully, if any of you disagree, you should just speak out. But you see, we don't have enough reliable primary healthcare. So many people unnecessarily come to the tertiary hospitals for the OPDs. So if you take care of the primary healthcare first, I tell you, you will, and education and cleanliness and the basic infrastructure, we will dramatically reduce the healthcare costs. And that cost can be put to use for more specialty care. So this will happen. It's also to do with the country's growth. See, we have, I can talk on this subject with a lot of data. See, we have a lot of inequality even with GDP. We have $2,600 or $2,700 per capita income. Yes, this will go to $4,000 by end of this decade, which will be a There's a lot of data that when it crosses 3,000, 3,500, then the economy gets a big uplift. So it'll go to $10,000. It'll go to $20,000 in the next 25 years. So it'll be remarkable. But the problem we have is, we have a state which is at $8,000 per capita income. We have another state at $800 per capita income. So we can't have a single country having so much disparity. Yes, we will always have higher income people and low income people, but we don't want it like this. We want it somewhere like this. So all those transformations will happen. That's why this equity has to be addressed. And hopefully that social transformation will happen. And it starts with education and healthcare. And many countries, there are examples, when the basic healthcare and education is sorted, after that everything else improves.
I'll ask one question, sir. Sure. So there are a lot of young people here, sir. If they say, can you please tell us 3 things you advise young? Of course, you once said the poverty of aspiration. So there is other 2 that you would need. And the second thing is, a lot of people talk about work-life balance. And how do you think you seem to be an epitome of a person who has achieved it. So what would the advice you will give, sir?
So giving advice is a dangerous thing. So, I think one thing I would say is there is so much to learn and so much material available, so much high quality opportunities to learn. And the world is changing so fast. So one thing I would suggest is that learning should become a very, very important parameter. And I won't say that all of us who lived probably in the previous generation compared to the youngsters, we will always say that. புஸ்தகத்தை எடுத்து படிக்கவே மாட்டேங்கிறாங்க, எப்போ பார்த்தாலும் ஃபோனே வச்சுட்டு இருக்காங்க. This is the complaint they make. I won't say that is wrong, because at the end of the day, the method of learning has changed. Even today, I like to read a book, having the book. Though I have Kindle and all that, the sense I get is when I have the book, I'm a lot more comfortable. So, but if I tell my son that, he's not going to, he not only uses Kindle, but he uses Kindle in the phone, not even in the iPad. So, they are able to take notes in the phone. So I think it's not about what device you use and what is the method, but I think it's so important to be learning. That's one thing. I think the work-life balance is a very debatable topic. I mean, but to my mind, it should not be misinterpreted. I don't understand how people can compartmentalize. At the younger age you can, at a higher age it's very difficult. And if you are treating a patient, you're thinking about a case that you studied, and you've seen all the data and you've asked, it's a complicated case. So you're going to ask the patient to come and see you next week. I'm pretty sure that is running over your mind. Maybe you're getting a sudden idea when you're having dinner. You can't stop that. So, compartmentalization of thoughts is a very meditative status. It doesn't come so easily. If you can achieve that, it's great. But otherwise, I think everyone should have a quality of life. It's very important. I mean, it's not to say that you've got to work 20 hours a day. I think it is more the hours you put in. To me, it is the commitment and the intensity to do everything proper. So it takes 8 hours, it takes 20 hours, you can do it over 3 days. You don't have to do 20 hours in the same day. But the perfection with which you have to do that should not be compromised. For me, it is not the time you spend, it is the rigor. Everything need not be done by doing late nights. Yes, you can have your social life, you should have your social lives, and one should go back home or to a girlfriend or whatever. But the important thing is the rigor should not suffer. don't compromise on the quality of output. That's where I would say.
Sir, good evening, sir. The healthcare requirements, 1000 per 15 is the maternal child health numbers. When it comes to diabetes, it is 400 to 1000. There is a 20 times more requirement that accelerated the technology to solve the accessibility issue. While I wish to attract your view on what is the missing middle preparation for IoT devices to solve their affordability in the home care, sir. So the home care, can it be solved by IoT devices? And what is your view on fostering this trust between the technology, the doctors, and the patients? It's the trust is what we wish to hear from you, sir.
So I would like to go back to Dr. Chandrasekaran. You can't just put technology to replace human element. It doesn't work. Because there is an emotional connect that is required. Sometimes the way the caregiver or the doctor talks to the patient makes much bigger impact than just the medicine. And also whether the commitment of the patient to take the medicine is true or not also depends on how the doctors engage with the patient. So I think the technology, trust on technology will develop because it's all proof points. Okay, when it happens once, twice, thrice, so, oh, they used everything automated, it works, it works, it works. Then 10 people say it, 100 people say it, 1,000 people say it will work. But it's a process that we have to go through. Just because today the technology is ready, you can't just put it to work. So this whole, it's a change management exercise that will happen. But on diabetes, I met one of the most distinguished diabetologists today. He introduced me. So I don't know whether he's going to agree with what I'm going to say. I believe that things like diabetes will get solved with genome sequencing and all that. Gene editing and all that will happen. It will become a reality. I believe certain diseases, I'm going to make two statements. Certain diseases like diabetes, even cancer, I think we'll have huge breakthroughs using genome editing, and I give it maximum 25 years, could be faster. Some of these very, very deadly diseases will be solved, eradicated or completely cured, I believe. The second thing I believe is that if you live very healthily for 25 years, after that there will be enough technology, not affordable for everyone, there will be enough technology for people who want to stay younger and not age.
You have to live healthy for 20
We will
years.
not use it, but we'll get to see the progress that's happening.
Sir, I am
So
VKSK.
I think avoid healthcare questions. I feel like
Yes, sir. There is a change, as you said. Sir, now I am Coimbatore District Agriculture Production Committee member, sir. My name is Coimbatore District Agricultural Production Committee member. Every district in Tamil Nadu has 4 members, sir. I am one of the member in Coimbatore. And I am also founder president of International Federation for Agriculture and Cooperatives. And now we need an artificial intelligence based portal, எதை விதைக்கலாம், what to be sowed. இப்போ அதனால தான் சப்ளை டிமாண்ட் வந்து ப்ராப்ளம் வருது. எல்லாரும் ஆனியன் நல்லா இருக்குன்னு நினச்சாங்கன்னா அப்படியே விதைக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிடுறாங்க. அது விளைஞ்சி வரும்போது விலை கம்மியாயிருது. சப்ளை அதிகமாகிறப்போ ப்ரைஸ் கிடையாது. இந்த மாதிரியான ஒரு டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் வந்து விவசாயிகள் வந்து ரொம்ப பாதிக்கப்படுறாங்க. ஸோ for that, can any of your institution, any of your company can come out with that portal? So the basic e-adangal is getting ready in Tamil Nadu, sir. I don't know about other states, but in Haryana and Punjab, there is no data at all, which we traveled, and we are planning to travel across the country. and I can give you the basic details what to be taken, uploaded in the portal, and what will be the report required for the government and for the agriculturist. Is that possible, sir?
Yeah. So first is I'm quite passionate about this. I have also taken time to visit some of the farms in Maharashtra, where I wanted to understand the onion problem because it's so spend some time on it. Also, hydroponic farms and all that. So I believe what you say is absolutely doable. We need a lot of data. It is a Gen AI project. We have just set up a group to look at the data sets, Indian economic data sets, agricultural data sets, to be able to predict precisely many things, but we are in a very, very early stage because the data quality is a major issue and also algorithms have to mature. So this is an area I'm very interested. I think this will happen. Whether we do it, somebody else does it, doesn't matter. It needs doing. This is top priority. It can dramatically change the life of farmers, but then the farmers will not believe it in the beginning. That will also be an issue because they have been cultivating certain crops and certain. I remember where I came back after my Coimbatore. I went back to my village to do the farming because my father wanted me to look after the farms. He didn't want me to study further. So I went back. So I tried for about 6-7 months, then I gave up. And I got very frustrated. Then only I went and did my master's. So I know what is involved in terms of it's a very strong mindset. சில பேர் மூணு வாழை தான் போடுவாங்க, சில பேர் 4 வாழை போடுவாங்க. 3 வாழைங்கிற போட்டு 4 வாழை போடணுன்னு வேண்டான்றாங்க. ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் மாற்று கிராப் இதெல்லாம் வெரி வெரி ஈச் ஃபார்மர் ஹேஸ் அ வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங் வியூஸ். ஸோ அதெல்லாம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ரியல் சக்ஸஸ் இஸ் ரிக்வயர்ட். பட் இட் வில் ஹேப்பன். 100% it will happen.
So, I want to ask this question, and it's got nothing to do with the lecture that you gave, but I've been very intrigued by one thing, and I think nobody could answer this better than you. India produces the largest IT workforce globally, whether it's Adobe or whether it's Microsoft or whether any company. But why is it that India has still not got a product like the Office suite, like the PowerPoint, Word, Excel that we live on? Why don't we have a Chrome? Why don't we have a YouTube? Why do the maps have to be from Google? Where are we missing, or am I missing something? Why isn't an India product globally popular like Safari or any of those things?
So
because
the first
even
is
TCS is mostly they are, feeding in data.
So first is let us celebrate the success we have had in the IT industry. So let us not discount it. Okay. The second is, you see, I go back to 1987 when I joined. We were a 25 crore company. Less than 500 people. And for a very long time, even in the 90s, even in the early 2000s, unless we get paid for the work and manage the working capital, we'll be worried about paying the salary on time. 27th of the month, TCS used to credit salary. If the 27th it is, I used to work in that system also. If the 27th we don't do that, Kohli will be Mr. FC Kohli will be very upset. So why did he not highlight before? Because we can't lose face with the employees. Especially it was very difficult for sending allowance for people who are working abroad because RBI had restrictions. You can't generally send, if you want to send $10,000, you cannot send $10,000. So many approvals you have to go through. So it comes to the capital issue. See, today Microsoft and Google and all these guys are successful. It is years of investment. Microsoft didn't become so big overnight. See, years IBM, so many patents, years of investment, huge amount of money. See, they are willing to, in US, they are willing to put, if you take a Gen AI research, if startup is there, 5 billion they'll put. Can you raise 5 billion in India so easily? So it will take time. So I think it will change. You will get the best product from India, but it is not going to happen tomorrow. And I tell you, asking TCS and Infosys and Wipro why you are not building the product is not the right question. Because they are driving the car towards from here to there. You are telling them to drive the car somewhere else. It's not going to happen. They are in a journey and they will do platforms, they will do adjacent businesses. A product company is very different mindset than from a services company. Okay, but there will be new companies. Whether Tata's can do it, God willing. So whether somebody else will do, yes, there will be entrepreneurs that will come and this product companies will come, but it's not going to happen overnight and it takes effort. Somebody is
Sir, good evening, sir, and thank you for the wonderful talk which you gave. My question is, sir, you had told that health and technology are converging and we have to reimagine. So I would put as an educationist, how education should reimagine itself, bringing these disciplines together and try to create a breed of health technologists. I think this is what I would like to put it, sir.
So it's a big topic, can't be answered in 1 minute, but again, it is how do you bring all the technology and tools available and what is the role of the teacher? There is a role of the doctor, there is a role of the teacher. So the technology should help the doctors and teachers to achieve much higher order of productivity so that access can be provided. So, I mean, I've written about it, but it's a long topic. That's another thing that needs to be solved. I really think it needs to be solved. It has to be reimagined because today's learning methods are very different from the past, and we should not think that the today's children and students are not learning the way we were learning. They are learning it differently. So the sooner we understand that, we can design systems for it. If you are going to ridicule that, they will be quite in front of us. Pinada page holdanga, this guy doesn't get it. So,
yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, people like Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, they talk about artificial intelligence, they talk about super artificial intelligence, and a day of singularity will come when the human intelligence will be surpassed by the artificial intelligence. People will lose jobs. The day of abundance is going to come, and universal income will happen. How far is it? Is it going to happen at all, sir?
So I think I don't want to comment on what has been commented by. I have not read it. Whether it's Elon Musk or Sundar or anyone. See, fundamentally, every technology goes through a hype cycle. And what happens is that every time a technology comes, it just goes. People say that this is the new thing. And 1 out of, or 49 out of 50 or 99 out of 100 will fall right back. So there will be a lot of money that will be put in, nothing will happen, then it will fall right back. And there will be some which will really click. The reason it clicks is because every technology will require something else around it so that it can click. It's like a support system. If there is the best doctor also can perform only if there are 2-3 people around the doctor who understands the doctor, and so like that technology requires that. For example, artificial intelligence I studied as my elective course in 1986. Nothing happened. Robotics I did a course in 1985. Nothing happened to robotics, nothing happened to artificial intelligence till cloud came. The whole robotics and artificial intelligence took off because there was an infinite amount of storage, access to storage and processing power that came with the cloud. Otherwise, this is a small device, small robot, it can do only many things. As much capacity you can put in that. So every technology requires that. Now artificial intelligence is at the peak. And at least we have got to a point that we can say that it is going to have a significant impact. But if you ask me whether everything that is said about this is true, the answer is no, I don't believe so. So it won't stay there, it will fall a little bit. So there's always a gap between the hype that is being created and what will happen. And what will happen will have impact provided people can understand it. If all these people don't understand what it is going to do, it will never take off. See, I don't think human beings should ever be insecure about technology, because it is in the hands of the human beings to make it work or not work. So if somebody is going to say that artificial intelligence is going to change the world, everybody is going to lose their job, I don't believe that. It is, if a healthcare problem is going to be solved using AI, it will require Dr. Chandrasekaran. Unless he decides that I am going to use this, otherwise it's not going to happen. If education is going to change, he is required. See, unless or otherwise these people understand, and the technology is made simple enough so that these people see what can be done using it. In our companies, all our manufacturing companies can use. But unless the CEOs and the entire system, it is, if somebody is saying that, everybody else is doing it, you are not doing it. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of truth in it, but that's not the case. People want to learn in life. People want to improve in life. I don't think any one of us are going to say no to anything that can bring value. Right? Anything that's going to make our life easier, make our world better, make our societies better, make our children learn better, make the poor people have a better quality of life. All of us are going to say yes. 99.999% of the people are compassionate by nature. They may not be over compassionate, but they're all. So I think technology, AI will make a significant impact, but for it to make an impact, the people at large and the world at large has to adopt it. It is not going to do it by itself.
Good evening, sir. I'm Aiko. I'm currently 19 years old, and I am a sophomore at my college, KCW. So before I ask you my question, sir, let me take you back, let me give you a few glimpses of what's happening in my family for a few months. So I have one more year to make a decision to do what to do for my master's next year. So I hit up Google and I'm searching for a course that aligns with my passion, and I became fixated on, okay, let's do master's in healthcare administration. Of course, after fixing something, I have to go to my parents to get approval. I went to my mom and I told her about my interest, and she said, no, Aiko, I will not allow you to do that because the current Indian hospital care system is so corrupt. They are making people do so many unwanted diagnostic tests and wasting money and all that. And then it was a little disheartening to hear from my mother, and I said, okay, I still have one more year to convince her, and I left the topic there, and I went back to my stuff, to my daily routine. And then a few weeks back, one of my close relatives, my uncle, he had a cardiac checkup, and the TMT showed positive. And then the doctor recommended a CT angio, and then it was a little severe, and then it went on to the conventional angio. And then, so we wanted a proper consult from many doctors, and then we went to a very hi-fi, posh hospital to take an opinion from. We went there, and so the highest, we have already done a conventional angiogram of the heart. So that is the highest grade of scan you can do for a diagnostic procedure. But the doctor demanded us to get an echo scan, a basic echo scan also before seeing him. So he demanded that, and then we said, okay, if you can't take that test, you cannot meet the doctor. And then we did that test, and we met the doctor, and then the doctor gave an opinion. A week later, we got the chance to meet with another doctor who's very highly qualified, one of the best cardiothoracic surgeons in India. We went there, and that doctor did not even take a look at that echo scan. So I was wondering, so that 1 second, it's wicked how that 1 second totally changed my perception of things. So now, so this is my question to you, sir. Now I'm wondering, should I spend this next 1 year trying to convince my mother to allow me to take up healthcare administration for my master's, or should I explore other fields of my interest?
So now I have to answer this question without getting in trouble with your mother first.
I'm sure she'll watch it later, so you be careful.
So, I think the only, it's three things I would say. First is, you got to do what your passion is and what your heart says you should do. If your passion is the medical field, and you should stick with it. And you will always have great role models and not so great role models. And it is not that every person is always perfect. How people behave also depends on what you witness, is also depends on what else is going on in their world. So you got to be a little bit kind to give space to people and kind to people if you observe things which you don't like. Second point I would say is that the ability to have a conviction in what you believe in is the first step for success in life. If you don't have a conviction that this is what I want to do, then that should stay. Nothing that you see, nothing that comes in the way, good examples, bad examples, problems, issues, should disturb that. So conviction is important. Third is, convincing is important. In life, you cannot do anything big if you don't carry other people. In this case, your mother. In office, you meet with 10 people, you want a project, you want to take a decision, unless, it doesn't matter who you are, what your role is. Just because you are the boss, you cannot just get away by demanding things. It doesn't work. So because you want people enrolled, you want your mother to be equally passionate about what you want to do. So in an office environment, if you have 10 people, you want everybody's heart and mind on that issue. Only then you will achieve success. Otherwise, people will do a naam ke vaste. So what to do here? Boss has decided, humko karna hai. So we have to do it. So we don't want that attitude. So I think, I wish you good luck.
Sir, I think we'll go on
Sir,
to the last question.
Yeah, I have one more question.
So, and I'll have the privilege of asking the last questions. You want to ask, huh? Gayatri, you want to ask? Yeah. So I'll give you the chance.
Good evening, sir. So when Chittappa started the talk, he said, Mr. Venu Srinivasan had said that one of the secrets behind your success was finding the right person and placing them in the right position. So what is it that you look for, sir, when you recruit a person, or what is that attribute that makes the person the man for the job?
Sir, I'll ask my question also because there was so much allied to that question. So we always talk of the passion of JRD Tata, the passion of Mr. Chandrasekaran, everybody said. And sometimes we struggle. We have 2,800 employees in the hospital, and similar hospital owners, mill owners, everybody are here, and we always talk of the challenge of percolating that
DNA.
down the stream, DNA. How does the DNA
Tata
get through the, without any mutation? So that is number one. Second is, I was thinking of thousands, and then when I was just preparing this introduction, I saw Tata has 10 lakh 43 employees. So that really looked astonishing. So how does this passion percolate from top to bottom, sir?
So it's the most complicated subject, even higher than medicine, is human relations. Getting to know the people. and I am still learning. I have not figured out still whether it's the right person or not. But some things that I have learned. So most people, when we interview, when we want to find a person, so we kind of put ourselves in a situation where there is an interview panel and there is an interviewee. So we almost assume that this guy needs the job, so he is very desperate. So we're going to ask him questions, and we're going to ask him so many tough questions, and out of 10 people, whoever we like, we may end up liking a guy because he answered right or he behaved right. So there is no. So what I find is I meet people. I don't interview people. I like to have a chat. I don't keep any job specification in mind. Because I firmly believe that it's a bit philosophical. All of us have a glass, and everybody's glass has some water. As much as we try, we will never leave this world by the glass being full. We will have to leave the world with some part of it being empty. So every person has got some strength. So I try to figure out what that person's passion is. And then at the end of it, I will say, okay, this person probably cannot do this job, but I like to maintain in my mind about that person, he is good in this. So to my mind, you should have a chat. You should not interview. Doing this interview is a very wrong thing because you are very fixated, is my view at least, because we expect 1, 2, 3, and then we put tabular column. Did he qualify on subject? Did he? So, I mean, I find it, it's very subjective. Score on 1 to 10. One guy will score 8, another guy will score 6. Then finally we'll say, the highest score I have given is 6, highest score you have given is 8, then we normalize. So it's all so much subjective. So I don't go by scorecard. I do scorecards also because sometimes the company records require you to write a qualitative report, right? Quantitative report. So you need to give. So people do that. But my personal view is that time spent in learning the person is far more important. So you are likely to get a good candidate because you will generally know the person and you will get the soft quality.
Thank you, sir.
So that's it's a tough one, sir. It's the only thing is we have to recognize that any one-way communication. If you call 10 people, I call 10 people working for me, and if I tell them for 1 hour, when it gets go to the next level, it will go in 3 minutes or 5 minutes. Because that's the nature of communication. So I think it has to be a dialogue. A change management has to be a dialogue. So we've got to get more people involved. So the more dialogues that happen in the organization, the passion will percolate. So if we don't, otherwise it just top down, it just filters. Then at some point in time, see, people are so good, so nice people, they get into the obedience mode. See, with obedience mode, you can get the tasks done. You cannot get the passion. So we want people to be respectful of you. You don't want people to be obedient to you. This obedient is a very senior soltare, we can't. Boss soltare. So then it Vedavakan solvanga, adha mari aidum. So we don't want that. So to get the passion in, you need dialogues. So how do we create the dialogue? Each organization has its complexity. We have our own complexity. It's not easy. But for me, the biggest blessing is the hard work has been done by all my earlier people. The Tata values, trust, passion. I've been there for 100 years. So I didn't have to do anything. I only have to make sure that I don't spoil it. So, thank you.